Welcome back to Intrepid Emma, the channel for copywriting, content marketing, and entrepreneurship tips. Today's a little bit different. It's about my life, an entrepreneur's life, and it's going to be about my new journey towards getting a personal therapy dog. So if you're interested in that, stay tuned. If it's not quite your jam, then check out one of my other videos on entrepreneurship, copywriting, or content marketing. I'm just super grateful to have you here. All right. I'm an entrepreneur. I have big ambitions. I also have an amazing family. I have lots and lots of support. And I have an anxiety disorder. So that means that sometimes it's a little bit challenging to be me. I have lots of tools to deal with it. I've been going to therapy for several years now, and I've learned so many amazing, helpful ways of managing my anxiety. But I think there's always more to introduce in. So having a dog was already on my mind because I love dogs. I love all animals. I watch veterinary shows like no one else could probably imagine. It's basically all day, every day when I'm not working. So I knew that I wanted a dog. And then I was feeling really low, really anxious one day. So as you can imagine, during COVID, everyone is having a lot more anxiety, a lot more intensity, and as someone with an anxiety disorder, it's been a challenge sometimes. So I had a really low day. And on that day, I was talking to my mom, and my mom basically said, kind of offhand, wouldn't it be great if you could get a therapy dog? Not just a dog, but a therapy dog. And I thought, yeah, that would be so cool. It would be helpful. And then I looked it up, and there is one program in Canada that matches you with a personal therapy dog. So here's how it works. It's called Companion Paws, and it's through the Lifeline Foundation, which is a great mental health organization in Canada. And you apply if you have any sort of mental health issue, something that could be helpful to have a therapy dog for. You need a note from a physician or your therapist, and they will basically say, yeah, okay, you have a good situation for the dog. You're serious about this. You have a valid reason for a therapy dog, or kind of like an emotional support animal. At that point, they just need the right type of temperament, and you end up training them on your own, but I'll get into that in a second. So I submitted an application, super, super thorough. I even had to say like the height of the fence in the backyard and what it's made out of, and what kind of dog I'm looking for, all sorts of stuff. I had a great detailed phone call just yesterday with the leader of the program. And they're actually flying, I had great timing, they're flying to Mexico this Monday. And they're going to visit a rescue in Cabo San Lucas. And they're going to start matching dogs there that need a home and that have the exact right temperament, a super sweet temperament, very calm, not easily rattled, very loving, and then geared toward the person's specific needs. And they're going to start sending a few at a time back to Canada. So a few things I'm looking for. Hopefully they're a hypoallergenic dog. I know they're not 100% hypoallergenic. It's not quite true. But a dog that's low shedding, that doesn't have a lot of dander, that's just unlikely to cause allergies. And that's because my brother has some sensitivity. My dad too, but my brother more so. If there's a dog that's really furry, he'll have some sensitivity. And I just don't want that. I don't want that risk. Also, it'd be better for just meeting people in daily life. If I'm going to bring the dog with me more than I might any other pet, I want to make sure that it's unlikely someone will have an allergic reaction. I also want it to be a small dog. So my original thinking is that I like to travel, and on longer term trips, not like a 5-day trip. That would be kind of unfair to the dog. But on, a couple months long trip, I would definitely bring the dog with me, and I'd love for it to go in cabin. So, the only thing is, a lot of small dogs can be quite nervous, so they kind of talk to me about that. Like, they've never placed a Chihuahua, they've never placed a Pomeranian, because they tend to be very, very nervous, and the idea is that they're a therapy dog for the human, and the human is not supposed to be giving the dog therapy. So, it's probably going to be closer to 20 to 25 pounds. They might try and find it just under 20 pounds, but I'm just prepared that it'll be slightly bigger. But that's still a small dog. So those are kind of the two most important things. I don't really care if it's a boy or a girl dog. Don't really care what breed it is. I think all dogs are beautiful and amazing, and all these dogs that win the ugliest dog ever contest I think are adorable. So I will just love the dog, especially if it has that temperament. One piece of the temperament that I'm going to add when I have the more thorough intake call on Friday of this week. Today is Wednesday for a little bit of context. So I have the intake call on Friday where we're going to go over some more details. We're actually going to chat with other people who live in the household, make sure everyone's on board, we'll answer their questions. I don't know what else they might need to know, but it's going to be a little more thorough. And I'm going to make sure to also emphasize that I'd love for them to be kind of a lap dog, sort of not a low energy dog, but max mid energy, medium energy. I want them to be a snuggler because that's really helpful to me. That's one of the reasons I think a therapy dog would be so great, because I know our family dog, like my parents' dog, she's great and I love her, but she doesn't like to cuddle. And something I find really helpful with animals is that kind of pressure, the deep tissue pressure from them sitting on you. I find my weighted blanket really, really helpful with that. I often just put it on my chest. I find that so helpful. I have a friend whose cat, because cats are obviously smaller, could just sit here on my chest and would sit there and purr, and it was so cute, and it was so relaxing and comforting. So I definitely want them to be a lap dog and a snuggler, and I'm not super active. So I want to go out for a walk at least once a day. I'd love to take them to a dog park once in a while and that sort of thing, but hopefully it's not like a hyperactive dog. I don't think someone who's truly hyperactive would be placed in the program, but I also don't want them to be high active. I'd rather they be medium to low energy. So I'm going to kind of emphasize that, but again, I'm kind of open to anything, right? I have pretty high functioning anxiety, but this will really, really help on the really hard days, on any days when I'm feeling really lonely. So I do want it to be a great fit. Right, so I'm not as worried maybe as somebody who's a little bit more in a sensitive place than I am would be about making sure it's the exact perfect dog. I'm still pretty flexible, but I do know that the point really is to rescue a dog who's also in a way going to be rescuing me, right? So yeah, I wanted to share a little bit of where I am right now as of Wednesday, October 6th, I believe. 2020. Kind of document the updates in the program. So the next thing again is that intake call on Friday. On Monday I will hopefully hear something from the team, because I know that a couple of them are going down to Mexico to start matching those dogs, and I'll start to get updates from there, photos about the right dog for me, who they think is the right dog for me. And they'll start sending them here. I know that they also spend about a week in a rescue in North York just to get them acclimated, to make sure that it's not too abrupt a transition, so they can identify if there are any behavioral things they couldn't pick up before. They can start working on them. But then, assuming when we go and meet the dog, my family dog is good with the dog. I think she probably will be. She's pretty relaxed. And that my brother doesn't have an allergic reaction and start sneezing. Could happen, so I'm really, really hoping it doesn't. I really hope that everything goes well on the first try with this dog. Everyone loves him. I have a feeling it's going to be a boy. I don't know why. We'll see. Then it could be end of November 2020 when I finally have this dog. Hopefully in time for Christmas for sure. That would be great. So, once it's at home, it'll spend 2 weeks getting used to me and our life together, and then we'll begin the specific therapy dog training. So I will definitely document all of that. I'm really, really excited, a little bit nervous, because you never know if it's going to work on the first try, and I want it to work. So yeah, thanks for following along on my journey, and I will make sure to update you guys again soon. Take care.